Hope everybody's doing well. This is Monday, October 20th, 2025. It's about noontime Central Standard Time here in Houston, Texas. XRP is sitting at about $2.44. It's up about 2% day over day. Everything's going pretty smooth, but I wanted to take a moment to discuss new people in the crypto coming into the crypto market. As it was when I started, you need to do your research. You need to learn about some of these things if you're going to put your hard-earned money into cryptocurrency. Even if it was a mutual fund, if you're investing in a stock, you're going to want to know a thing or two about where you're throwing your money, right? If you're investing in a startup, whatever it is, you've got to at least know a few things, at least some basic things like who's running the show, what's their business model, does their balance sheet look good, what's their next 12 to 24 month outlook look like, or longer term, depending on how long that investment is. You got to know some of these things, and fortunately you can know some of these things about cryptocurrencies. Find out what their business model is. Is it an AI coin? Is it a DeFi coin? Is it a liquidity coin? What is it? Is it a meme coin? You've got to know what it is that you're throwing your money at. Not just because it's a blockchain-based crypto means, oh man, it's going to go. It's going to make us some money. That's not true. In most cases, it's not true. So you need to know what you're doing, but it's never been easier because there's so much more information readily available to the public than there was when I first started. And so that's a huge benefit because now we also have a pro-crypto president. So you're hearing about crypto on a daily basis, even on mainstream media for the most part. You may not be hearing about the right cryptos, but that's pretty much par for the course. That's how it goes. They never let you know what the real deal is until the opportunities typically passed most of us by. However, the wealthy, the insiders, they know what's going on. And let me give you an example of what's obvious. I like what Digital Perspectives put together here. It's by no means the whole picture, but if you're talking about XRP and Ripple, it sums it up pretty easily if you know a thing or two about finance. If you don't, then there's still a little work to be done, but this here just makes it real obvious from where I stand. XRP ETF approvals are pending. We've got 2 or 3 of them approved, but from what I understand, there's now about 30 XRP specific ETF applications pending. Ripple acquired Hidden Road, a prime broker. They acquired Rail Financial recently to have access, I think, to about 70 countries for the stablecoin, rails, so that you can distribute and complete stablecoin transactions internationally. And then they just recently bought G Treasury. G Treasury has access to 13,000 banks. Last time I remember, Swift only had access to 11,000 banks. So through G Treasury, XRP and Ripple now have access to 2,000 more banks than Swift does. Then also Ripple applied for a bank charter with the OCC. That's pending approval. They also applied for a Fed master account. That is a big deal. And if you don't understand what these things mean, just Google them or search them through AI and you're going to understand the significance of each and every one of these things. Mostly like these two, G Treasury, and the ETF approvals. Hidden Road and Rail are a little more complex, but they're equally as big. Then there's also the digital asset treasury. Now, a lot of people are talking about this because Ripple just announced they're going to buy about $1 billion worth of XRP. A lot of companies are setting up treasuries. And so some of the FUD, right? Some of the discussion in cryptocurrency is that, well, Ripple just sells XRP to fund its operations. These are people who don't understand. Ripple actually sells services. They utilize on-demand liquidity services through their RippleNet service, among other services like custody. They bought Metaco. They also acquired Metaco in standard custody. That's not even in this list, right? So this is not a complete list, but this alone is, all of this stuff is huge, but there's so much more that's not discussed. You're also pending ISO 20022 mandatory deadline in November. You've got smart contracts going live on the XRP ledger in January. So there's a lot more than what you see there, but that is huge. And this intention here to set up a $1 billion XRP treasury kind of puts a little bit of a finer point on the idea that Ripple does not own all the XRP. They have it in an escrow, and the thinking has been that a lot of that escrow is pre-allocated to other countries, to other financial institutions around the world. There's been the idea that XRP was created to avert World War III as a way to tell the world, hey, Let's agree to a financial system that we can all participate in equally. You've heard President Trump refer to a level playing field often. Before President Trump ever started even using the phrase, Ripple used to use that phrase 10 years back. A level playing field is what we're seeking, which means the system in general has been on the same page. They got to work together, and they have been. Maybe they're not in agreement on the finer details of how the final rules will be laid out. I think more of them were in favor of a CBDC type system. President Trump is not on that list. He is more of a stablecoin type of guy, which I like, because CBDC is complete programmable money. All of it can be traced, and all of it is something that none of us has complete control over. But if we're going to have a preference, I'm going to prefer the stablecoin way to go, because I own my money then. They can set the rules of settlement, they can set the rules of taxation, that kind of thing, but they can't reprogram my money if it's mine. If it's a CBDC, it's their money. They own it. It's central bank digital currency. It's their money. But a CBDC is just something equal to a $1. It's something that I own. That's kind of how I perceive it. But that's, I think, the difference, the nuance with respect to that. Digital Perspectives, I like their little comment down here. He says, Ray Charles could see where this is going. If you know who Ray Charles is, that's a reference to, I guess, for most of us older folks. He's an artist, he's a musician, and he's blind. But even he could see where this is going. Well, yeah, even with just that alone, you could see where it's going, but I've just told you there's so much more, and you don't have to take my word for it. Look up Metaco, look up standard custody, look up anything that you've seen on any of our videos, and it'll confirm for you exactly why it's so obvious. It's obvious how this company's been being built. And that's that. He didn't even mention that XRP is the only digital asset with legal regulatory clarity. We need the Clarity Act to give the rest of the crypto space any kind of clarity. I believe that's going to wipe out the vast majority of I think it's more than 20,000 digital currencies that exist right now. Most of them will be gone. Then we might have, I don't know, maybe a little over 100 coins left after that have specific use cases. And those will have varying degrees of success in the real world, because there's going to be a fight. There's going to be a stablecoin fight out there. Which stablecoin is going to be the most trusted? And I believe RLUSD, the Ripple stablecoin, is going to be the main one. I believe that Ripple may buy out USDC, or Circle, the company Circle that puts USDC out, because USDC does not have a native blockchain, but RLUSD, backed by Ripple, created by Ripple, does have a native blockchain. It's the XRP ledger. So for all these reasons and much more, it is obvious, more obvious than ever. But even if you're new to the space, it's still a bit of a maze, and you still need to get past a certain learning curve. And it's always good to see somebody at least be inquisitive. But I'd like to encourage everybody to take some time out, look through some social media, look through the websites of a lot of these cryptocurrencies that you're considering, even XRP. Go look at their website, and then go look at the LinkedIn pages of those that are running the show for XRP. Go look who they have, their partnerships, and who's using XRP out there. There's a lot of banks, a lot of countries using XRP, building platforms on the XRP ledger. So go take a look at that. Take some time to understand what exactly is in front of you. It is pretty obvious. It won't take long, I don't think, for most of us to kind of have that light go on in your mind. But I just wanted to take a moment and share this with you, because it is obvious. There's an opportunity here for us. We do have a pro-crypto president. The Clarity Act is on the horizon. ISO 20022 mandatory is on the horizon. ETF approvals are on the horizon. I mean, there's so much that's coming for this particular blockchain itself. So from my point of view, it's a pretty good investment. It's worked really well for me over the last 7 years. And I think that we haven't even really scratched the surface. That's how good I think it is. But I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to convince you to at least look at it and consider it. You don't have to, but I think it won't take long before you see what I see, hopefully, maybe. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and bookmark. We'll see you on the next one. Till next time. Adios, amigos.